Hello, my name is Kira Fraga. I am a first year student in the Joint Doctoral Program in Public Health and the Health Behavior track. A little bit of my background, I did a bachelor's in psychology and I did a master's in epidemiology. Between my master's and my JDP, I did a 1 year, 1 year and a half coursework certificate program in a Self-Heal School of Herbal Studies and Healing. It's located in Point Loma, and they have coursework during the whole year. That's where I got my experience with medicinal uses of herbs, as well as some preclinic and clinical training. So that's where I got most of my clinical experience for herbal use. So why is it important to use herbs for me? Um, Herbs for me come more of like cultural and historic place. Um, Western medicine, very good right now, but it did originate from herbs, and I wanted to explore the idea of the original medicine as so that's how they call it nowadays. So, for example, the aspirin was made from white willow bark or from meadowsweet, um, because of the components of salicylic acid. So I started learning more about herbs, and then I got into the self-heal school to learn more of the clinical effects and the clinical like treatments for herbal medicine use, right? So for me, it's important to do research, and that's my main focus in my joint doctoral program is doing research in herbal medicine and its uses. So for this talk specifically, I will be mentioning and talking about some immune boosting herbs for the winter. Winter is very common for respiratory conditions. So while some of the herbs I am mentioning may be used for other like conditions like circulatory issues or digestive issues or others, I'm going to focus mainly on the respiratory system because the things that are more common during the winter are colds, flus, COVID, and other respiratory conditions. Um, so the first herb that I will talk about is garlic. Garlic is very common. You can find it in every grocery store and it's very easy to grow. Garlic is an antibiotic, it's an expectorant, an antiseptic, and it boosts your immune system. So it's good for colds, flus, ear infections, and reduces mucus, etc. Garlic, there is a caution. If you're taking blood thinners, you should not be taking garlic in medicinal doses, as well as if your children are under 12, be very cautious about using medicinal doses of garlic. It also garlic lowers blood pressure and blood sugar. So if you're taking any medications that already lower your blood sugar or blood pressure, taking garlic on top of that in medicinal doses may cause really bad reaction. So a really good use for garlic that I will give right now is using fermented garlic honey. And I do have a recipe I want to touch base on. So basically you grab the garlic, you either crush, mince, or chop it, and then let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes so the main component that is immune boosting can, accumulate more. Once those 10-15 minutes pass, then you fill a mason jar with that garlic like about halfway. And then after that, you grab honey, preferably raw and organic honey. You cover the garlic in honey and just be very careful of not filling it to the top because it's going to ferment and create pressure. So you don't want it all the way to the top. Leave some space. And after covering the honey, just stir it a little bit and then close the jar and put it in a cool and dark place and let it sit minimum of 1 week, but preferably at least a month. So it can get rid of that bitterness, that spiciness of garlic and make it a little bit more sweet. So every 3 days when you're fermenting this, every 3 days, open the lid to let the pressure out and then close it and put it back in its place. Um, so after letting it ferment for either a week or a month, um, you can use it for up to a year and you can store it in the fridge. And whenever you're sick, you can just aim to use maximum 6 cloves per day if you're sick. You can also just, oh, I'm feel like I'm getting sick. I'm gonna take a spoonful. That's also good. I would recommend starting with just a little bit and see how you feel, and then you can increase your dose during the day. But 6 cloves maximum, and that's if you don't have any other you of the cautions that you're not taking blood thinners or blood sugar reducers or anything. So that's garlic honey. Another herb I want to talk about it, and that's very popular nowadays, is elderberry. Elderberry is an antiviral, anti-inflammatory. It clears mucus, and again, it's also very good for the season. Although elderberry is very, very good for you for this particular season, the caution is that you should not eat raw berries, especially if they're unripe, because it is toxic. So if you're looking for the actual elderberries, look for the dried elderberries. So it is a mild laxative also, so be cautious about how much you take, especially when giving it to children. Elderberry is very popular nowadays. You can even find the syrup in Costco, or you can find it at CVS in little tablets, etc. But I do recommend a very specific one, NG Apothecary, which is located in Barrio Logan. It's also called the Church of Herbalism. She sells Purple Tonic, which is an elderberry-based syrup or glycerite. And it's very good. It's very tasty. I recommend, highly recommend that. But you can also just make it yourself. There's a lot of recipes out there that are very tasty. The Ocean Beach People's Food Co-op has a recipe up in their Instagram. If you scroll down to last year, you can find that elderberry syrup recipe. But yeah, elderberry is very tasty and very good for this season. Another herb that is very easily grown and you can find it anywhere is onions. Onions are very similar to garlic. So it has an antibiotic effect that garlic has. And it's also an expectorant and anti-inflammatory. So again, perfect for the season for colds, flus, and coughs. My mom actually did tell me this story that my great grandmother would boil red onions and then combine it with honey and lime juice. And anytime the kids would get sick, she would make that concoction and they would drink the tea. Or my mom would actually, she told me that she actually ate the onions because they were already so sweet that she loved the taste of the onions. So that's another use for onions as an herbal remedy. I do want to also talk about an herb called Yerba Santa. Yerba Santa is a local herb. It's native to Mexico, northern Mexico, to California, and other local places. And it's used as an expectorant. So very good for coughs, for colds, sore throats, for releasing mucus, for asthma, for COVID-19, for bronchitis and other uses. You can either use it as a tea or, as I've heard down in Mexico, you can use it as a bath. So just a warm bath and put some yerba santa in your bath so you can breathe in the steam. So that's how yerba santa is used. And then there's other herbs that you can find in your kitchen or in your grocery store and use them, like ginger, lemon, thyme, cayenne. What else? Eucalyptus is also found around San Diego and very commonly used also for respiratory conditions. Mullein is also a really good herb. And I also want to touch base on chamomile. While chamomile doesn't really have any effects for like coughs or flus, it is very good to help you sleep and relax the body, which when you're sick, you it isn't really easy to relax or sleep well. So chamomile is really good to add in your mix. It's also an anti-allergenic and it relieves congestion. So that's a good one to add, as well as peppermint, because peppermint is really good for sore throats, given that it's an antimicrobial. So it's also a really good herb to add in your teas for this season. For ginger and lemon, ginger is an antiviral and anti-inflammatory. It also it cools down fevers. Um, so it's a really good herb to add to your mix. Although for ginger, the caution is to not use during pregnancy or with caution. And if you're taking anticoagulants or if you have any ulcers, because ginger again is very spicy herb. And for lemon you can add to any tea. You can eat it as is or just put it in your food. And it's very high in vitamin C. It's an antiseptic, antibacterial, and fever reducer. So lemon, you can add it to anything, as well as limes. For thyme and cayenne. Cayenne is good for sore throats, so you can gargle it with water. And then thyme is a good antiseptic and an expectorant. So again, good for coughs especially. There's another herb that grows all over San Diego, and it's actually considered a weed, is yarrow. Again, it grows as a weed, so you can find it all over. And this is more used for fever reducing properties. So if you're going to use yarrow, you should combine it with other herbs that are going to cover other symptoms like elderberry or peppermint. But yarrow should not be used during pregnancy, and it might, since it's a weed, it might cause an allergic reaction or dermatitis. Another really good herb to use. Sadly, I don't think this really grows around here, but you can find this herb in apothecaries, or you can find it sometimes all the remedies, the syrups and tablets that you can find in CVS have this. It's echinacea. Echinacea is really good for immune response stimulation. It's a good antimicrobial and immune booster. Really good in combination with elderberry, but again, it might cause an allergic reaction. So I would use with caution. Mullein and eucalyptus are really good also for expectorant properties. Mullein is used a lot in Mexico for the expectorant properties, and eucalyptus is also a very good antiseptic, and it's commonly used for bronchitis, especially, as well as cold flus, pneumonia, and sore throats. For eucalyptus, there is a caution for using children and infants, and also I would not use the essential oil in children and infants. I wouldn't use essential oils internally for any herb. And eucalyptus essential oil could be very irritating, so I would use that with a lot of caution. Also, for eucalyptus, there are a lot of species of eucalyptus. I would specifically look for Eucalyptus globulus, which is the one you can take as a tea. I would be very cautious about that because some eucalyptus species can be very toxic. So those are the herbs that I wanted to talk about today. I just want to make an emphasis that if you're going to use herbs in a medicinal dose, instead of the common Western medicine, I would still talk to your doctor before using any herbs. Because you don't know if it's going to react to a current medication or if it might give you a side effect or anything that you might not want. So I would definitely speak to your doctor. Go slow. So start with a very little dose and build up on it before taking a full dose. And also use clean herbs, organic herbs preferably. This is to reduce the intake of any pesticides or any nasty stuff when it comes to growing those herbs. And if you can grow it in your backyard to guarantee that, that would be great. But yeah, so those are my recommendations. And if you want to talk more about herbs or if you have any questions, you can email me at kfraga, that's KFRAGA, at sdsu.edu. I wish I could talk a little bit more, but it is a 15-minute video. So I hope to hear from you soon if you have any questions. But yeah, do a lot of research, speak to your doctor and start slow, and take care and stay healthy this winter for from flu, coughs, COVID, and all of it. And also trust modern medicine if you want to use herbal medicine and Western medicine. Together, that's the greatest combination you can do. But yeah, that's all for me for today. Thank you very much for listening, and reach out if you have any questions or if you just want to talk more about herbs. Thank you very much. Bye bye.